Cha, welcome back to Textiles with Becca. Today I'll be showing you how to make this gathered skirt. It's very versatile. The project is beginner friendly. The skirt is a wardrobe staple for sure. Yeah, definitely want to add on to your make list for this summer. So before we get started, here is my drama recommendation for this project and the drama that I was watching whilst I was making this. And that's Love Between Fairy and Devil. I loved this so much. I loved Dylan Wang in it, but I loved the OST even more. So it definitely want to add onto your watch list. A must watch for sure. Anyway, here are the things that you will need for this project. You'll need 2 meters of main fabric. You'll need 1.5 meters for your lining fabric. You'll need some elastic, big enough to go around your waist 3 times. You also need your waist measurement as well as your desired skirt length. For the main skirt, divide your waist measurement by 2 and add 40 inches. That should give you the width. And then for the length, that should be your skirt's desired length. And then maybe add an inch for seam allowance on your hemming it. And then for the lining, instead of adding 40 inches, we're adding 26 this time. And we also want the length to be shorter than that of our main fabric. We're also cutting out 2 pieces of this. Onto the waistband. Again, we're dividing the waist measurement by 2. We're adding 16 inches this time, and the length will be 6 inches. We are cutting this on the fold, and we only need 1 from the main fabric. For the pockets, you can get a basic template online, or you can just place your hand down like so and trace around, just like I'm showing you here. You will need 4 pieces of this, so you can cut 2 with your lining and 2 with your main, or you can just do all 4 of them using your main fabric. All in all, these are all the pattern pieces that you will need. Start by cutting them all out and overlocking them. Don't forget to give them a good press as well. Once you're finished, go ahead and measure between 4 to 5 inches from your waistline and place your pockets down like so. You're placing them right sides together. You're also doing this for each side of the main fabric rectangles that you cut out. You should then go ahead and stitch with a 1/4 seam allowance. You should then end up with something like this. Go ahead and trim that excess thread and then press your seam towards the pocket. With right sides together, place your 2 rectangles facing each other and pin them like so. And then you're going to stitch along the side seam, making sure not to close your pocket. Now that you've added your pockets, go ahead and grab your lining pieces and place them right sides together and stitch along the side seams. If you've watched my previous tutorial, you will know that I prefer the needle and thread method when I'm doing my gathering. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to grab our needle and thread. You can use the longest stitch on your sewing machine. It's just that the longest stitch on my sewing machine isn't very long and I always struggle to do the gathers. Or if you have a gathering foot, I should try that. I need to buy one of those. But anyway, so just fold your waistband into half. Go ahead and start gathering so that your skirt, half of your skirt fits into half of your waistband, just like this. Go ahead and do the same for your lining. And once you've done that with wrong sides together, insert your lining into your main fabric and then paste your lining and your main fabric together. So which means you're just using the longest stitch on your sewing machine and you're going to stitch all around the entire circumference of the skirt. You should then end up with something like this. What I did was overlock it as well, just to reduce on that bulk. But you don't have to do this. I just thought that it would make the next step a little bit easier. But if you don't have an overlocker, that is perfectly fine. It's not necessary. And for previously, when you're overlocking your pieces, if you don't have an overlocker, you just use the zigzag stitch on your sewing machine. It honestly gives the same effect. All you're trying to do is seal off those edges so that they're not fraying. As you can see, it looks nice and tidy. So just go ahead and give it a good press. And honestly, if there was one piece of advice I could give you as a sewing girly, is to press every time. Press your seams, because it does make your work look more professional and it just gives you a nicer finish on everything. Anyway, grab your waistband that should already be folded into half and stitch on the side seam using 5/8 of a seam allowance. Go ahead and press that seam open. Then fold one of your edges towards the wrong side using 1/2 inch of a seam allowance, and then press that. Then grab your skirt and your waistband, turn your waistband inside out and pin the unfolded edge onto your waistline, just like I'm showing you here. So you should be pinning right sides together. Go ahead and stitch with 5/8 of a seam allowance, and you should end up with something like this. Turn your skirt inside out and press your seam towards the waist. Then fold your waistband into half so that it's covering over the stitches. We're going to stitch from the right side and we're going to stitch in the ditch so that we are attaching our waistband onto the remainder of the waistband onto the skirt. When doing this, you have to make sure that you're leaving space, maybe a 1 to 2 inches gap for when you're inserting your elastic later on. When creating the elastic channels, just get your elastic and use it to gauge how big the channels should be. You should be quite generous because you want it to fit and go through quite smoothly. So just do as I'm showing you here and we'll be creating 3 channels. Once you're finished, you should end up with something like this. As you can see, there are 3 channels there and there is a gap for each channel for inserting the elastic. There are many ways to insert your elastic through the channels, but I decided to use the safety pin method because the channels are quite small. So for this, you'll need 2 safety pins. One to be attached on the end that you'll be feeding into the channel, and the other one to attach to the skirt itself, so that when you're pulling, the whole thing does not go through. That when you come out to the other end, you'll still have 2 ends to seal together. I won't lie to you, this was hard work. It literally took me 40 days and 40 nights to finish. Yeah, so patience is a virtue. So, well, to be fair, you should learn from me. Either use smaller elastic. I didn't want to do that because of the look that I was going for, or make your channels bigger. But I also couldn't afford to make my channels bigger because my waistband wasn't bigger. So anyway, that's all you have to do. And yeah, by the end of it, just seal your elastic off or your elastic channels off and you have a skirt. You're done. You're finished. Well done. As you can see, it's an absolute wardrobe staple and I love it. I wear it all the time, as you can see. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video and I hope that you found it helpful and useful. And if you have any questions, I look forward to answering them in the comment section. And I really do hope that you give it a try. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.